Well, welcome everyone. Welcome back to the podcast, Beginners Competitors Court. We need a new title, anyways. Maybe I'll ask my guest today, Alexis Morrison. Alexis?
Alexis, yeah.
Alexis? Okay, Alexis Morrison. Thank you for joining us. First of all, I have to say, introduce to you who is my guest. We met. Actually, let me give them their story how we met. We just completed our competition Can Fit Pro in Toronto, October 19, 2023. And we were in the tan getting our second coat.
August 19.
Oh, August 19.
Don't fast track the year.
And we were getting our coat. And then I was just stressing because I had a little issue, but not big deal. But he was just like little petite, pretty girl, dark skin, looking like a goddess girl. Getting her tail. I was like, who is this? And then we started chatting, and then I met Alexis. Hi, Alexis.
Hi.
And she told me that she was competing for her first time in bikini. And I told her I was doing my wellness for the first time, and then when I asked her age, she was like, I was twice her age. So I felt like a little auntie, but I'm very happy to have her here because Alexis, she stole the show, basically. Yeah, you did. Like, you have to give credit. You did. And for people who are not familiar, bikini is like the one as the most depth that has the most competitors in terms of a show. Although it was a small show, we had 15 bikini girls. Not only did she win like the novice or first novice, her height class, and then she won juniors because you're like young.
Yeah.
And then she won the overall against all heights, all ages. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Thank you. Honestly, I'm still on cloud 9. I'm still processing the whole thing. It's been quite a journey. And like mentally, the discipline that I've gained from this has been immeasurable. I have learned discipline, regimen, schedule. Like when things change, it's like, you know what? It's okay. You take it in stride day by day and you put your best out there. And that's all you can do. And like, don't set your expectations too high. Like I exceeded my expectations that day. I did not expect that. And I was more than happy to get it though. More than happy.
Your structure is amazing. But you know what? You know why I wanted to interview you? I didn't share that with you. You're going to hear it for the first time here. The reason why I wanted to interview you, Alexis, is because I don't know if you know, but when I was your age, even before that, doing a bodybuilding show was something that I always wanted to do. But I was a little bit, bigger or something but I didn't think that I could do it. And I didn't think I have the courage to. So basically, when I saw it, I was like, oh, like that to me, it's inspirational. It's admirable. I was like, wow, like at her age, look at her being confident and having the courage and the discipline at that age to do such a gruel prep. To me, that's inspiring. And you don't know like which young girl you may inspire, and somebody that looks like me too.
Yeah.
Very important.
Well, the thing is, like, it wasn't even the hardness of the prep. It was the belief in myself. It was the challenge. I love setting goals and I love chasing them. And I won't stop until I get what I set out to do or more. So that being said, like, I was always active. I was always doing stuff. I was always had that competitive drive in me. And like after sports in high school and college and stuff like that, I needed something. And the gym was it for me because it was part of my schedule. I needed something in the day, like when I had a hectic day or whatever, that I could always come back to. And the gym became my cornerstone, so to speak. So I was always in the gym. But the thing is, the diet wasn't there.
Yeah.
Sleep wasn't there. The guidance wasn't there.
But how do you, at that age, like, I'm very fascinated. At that age, like, how do you say, like, oh, I'm going to the gym to, like, I want to compete. People are going to, like, criticize me for my body, but I still have that confidence, have a positive self-image. How do you do that? How do you have that ever? Where does that come from?
Honestly, well, people always say like I'm an old soul and like I'm wise
Uh,
beyond my years, and I appreciate it every time I hear it. It never gets old. It makes me feel like very rooted in myself because I learned at a very early age, like be confident in yourself. You can do whatever you set your mind to. My parents always told me that. And I really took that to heart. And like, I really believe it. And you really can do anything you set your mind to. So I was last year, I went to a bodybuilding show with my boyfriend at the time. And
it was at King Kong, right?
yeah, it was
you know that I competed in that show?
Really?
Yeah, I did. Well, I finished like dead last. So almost dead last.
But still, you got on this stage. And the thing is, it's like, I always and I saw all the men's physique guys. I saw all the bodybuilding. I saw all the like women's bodybuilding. And I'm like, damn, like these people got muscle that I've always wanted. And it's like, figure is too big for me because like walking around in off season, I just wouldn't want that for myself. And my frame and stuff, I wasn't even thinking about it at the time. I'm just like, I don't know. That's a little too muscular. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. And then the bikini girls came out and I'm like, whoa. Like, that's it for me. The sparkly suit. You are a buff Barbie. And that's always what I wanted. Not just for like physical admiration, but like for confidence in myself, for discipline, for healthy lifestyle. And I was like, once I saw that, I looked at my ex-boyfriend now and I was like, I'm going to do that. And he's like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, oh, doubt me. Catch me in 8 months, doubt me, and not just fueled my fire. And like after that, like he was just joking. And like he always believed in me and he came to the show and like supported me still. But, yeah. And supported me still. And yeah, so I was just from that point on, I was like, okay, like I'm doing this. How am I gonna do it? I don't know. But a sign showed up, like my coach, now my coach, she was actually at the show. And I'm like,
you are right, right?
Yeah, Kayla Wright of Wright Fitness. And I was like, she goes to our gym. Like, I've always admired her physique. I've always admired her dedication. And then I saw her at the show and I'm like, this is a sign. Go for it. Don't second guess yourself. Go for it. Try it. See if you like it. Because what's the worst that can happen? Like, at least you have to try. So as soon as I saw her, I was like, yep, this is a sign. And then I actually ran into her sister at the gym, like the following day or two. And I was like, oh my God, like I mistaked her for her sister. And I went up to her. I saw you. Yeah. So I was like, I saw you at the show. Like, I just wanted to say, like, I've always admired your physique and all this stuff. And like, do you have any tips for new competitors and whatnot? And she's just like, you mean my sister? So from that time, I got in contact with my coach and I went to the show in November and started training with her in December. And
okay, let's pause a little bit, Alexis.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to go to a show, you know, people get excited. You see a show. Oh, yeah. Everybody says, oh, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. Right. And then it's one thing to like contact somebody, but it's one thing to actually like, you know, you do that extra step, you know, like that little driven. Because a lot of people stay in like, yeah, one day.
Yeah.
I will.
I don't like living in the woulda, coulda, shouldas. I like to say, I did that. And that's what I've been saying since the very start. It was, I'm going to do this and I'm going to put my all into it and I'm going to crush it. Or at least I'm going to put my best out and be proud of what I did. And I never wanted a woulda, coulda, shoulda. Because after that show, everyone has the motivation. It's like after Christmas time, New Year's Eve time, that big rush of people. And then they always fall off. I'm like, I'm not going to be one to fall off. I'm going to make it to stage.
So you prepped in December?
No.
First time? No?
That was my off season. So basically we decided once I got into contact with my coach,
Okay.
she did a physique assessment and I was kind of a hybrid body, she called it. So I
Okay.
could have gone wellness, but it would have taken a longer off season. And I'm like, no, I want to compete now. I want to get on stage now. I want to see what I can do right now. So she's like, okay, we're gonna have to scale down to bikini. It's gonna be hard. And I'm like, let's do it. Let throw me in. Let's do it.
Because when you say scale down, like you scale down.
Yeah, like my previous physique, like I started the whole journey probably around 155, 160. And
How
my
tall are you?
five, well, according to the Can Fit Pro, I'm
Yeah.
5'5", but in my whole life, I've been 5'7". So
We shrink. I don't know what's going on. I think
I
we
don't
shrink too.
know. I don't know what happened there,
I've
but
been
I
doing these
guess
hanging lifts because like, oh my
it
God.
must be. But apparently I'm 5'5". So
Five.
yeah, I started out at like 155, 160, and we got down like at my lowest. I was one age at like 115.
150. Okay, so let's pause here a little bit. Because you see, when you look at the pictures of all the competitors, they look like full. It's illusion, right?
Very full.
They are so tiny. When I go into that tanning room, I was like, I'm trying to figure out which, division people or category people are competing.
Yeah.
Everybody's so tiny.
But once you get the tan, the stage lighting, and you actually flex your muscles, it's like there's a difference.
Yes, a difference. And when you see at the picture, so that's why it's important, like not to go on by like the photos you see on social media.
Exactly.
It's completely different than in person.
Yeah.
So weird. That's like, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, like also, I was always kind of into bodybuilding because I'd always watch the Olympia. Love like Jen Dory. Love Maureen. Love Laura Lee. I listened to Phoebe Hagen's Say More podcast.
You met her recently, right?
I did. I had an in-person meet and greet with her. I asked her all the questions. I came with my clipboard and I got so much good feedback.
Can I ask you a question? What did you ask? Like, what question did you share with us?
Oh my goodness. I asked everything. I asked her, like, how do you deal with hunger and prep, especially like the beginning of prep? And she's just like, you know what? Like, there's hacks, there's your salt-free sauces, and then there's your low carb, whatever. But sometimes you just got to suck it up. And it is really a mental game. Like, it is completely a mental game. And because bikini is so subjective and you want to get your body right in certain areas, I'm like, okay, well, how? I asked her, I'm like, how do you train? Like, for certain things, it's like, she's like, well, I don't even train certain areas just so that my physique can look balanced and like what they're looking for in the criteria and stuff. And like the more you get out there and get judges' feedback, the better. For sure. I asked her about posing and stuff like that. Like when she gave me my video assessment, your hand movements and your flow and your presentation counts for so much. Yeah. Practice is key, but don't overdo it. Don't overdo it because you can get like injury just from posing. Listen to your body. Just listen to your body.
Okay, well, it seems like you're doing what I'm hearing is that you're doing your homework already.
Oh, 100%. Like, I used to just blast my music in the gym, focus on like hard beats and just, kind of vibe and go through the motions. Sometimes on hard days, you just go through the motions, but I would always put in the work. Now I'm actually taking time to like listen to podcasts while I work out and like absorb that information so that I can apply it into my improvement season, apply it into my prep, and like take all the advice from the pros, take all the advice from the higher ups, the IFBBs, like take all that information in for myself so that I can bring my best physique and join them someday.
That's awesome. You know, what I've noticed is that from my first show, like 3 years ago, so I did my first competition 3 years ago in 2020 during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But it wasn't figure. And like, for me, like, whatever I was just doing. But before that, I had a transformation because I actually was over 200 pounds.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, 200 pounds and twice in my life. But yeah, and I won the overall in figure and stuff. And I was like, oh, yoo-hoo! I was so like over the moon. But like my reaction this time was different because I've won and I've lost, like lost, not
Yeah.
placing. And so I was more in the middle. I was just, okay, those are the goals I had. I achieved it. I became leader and okay, what's next? But I have to say this time I had a hard time to really, I don't know what it is, maybe like not enjoy it. I don't know. It was weird. It's like, I don't know. I didn't want to go there.
Yeah. Honestly, it's so hard to get yourself out of like a mental funk when you have like mental fog and all that stuff. And it was my first prep. So I'm like,
Mhm.
go hard, go hard. You have no choice. Like, this is your debut. This is your da da da. But I'm like, there was a time where I had friends like at the gym and stuff,
Okay.
and I was just so isolated. I was so focused and like determined that I like kind of isolated myself. And it's like,
Yeah.
one of them just came up to me and was like, you need to take a step back. You're
Yeah.
never going to get a first prep back. You're never going to get a first competition back. Enjoy it. Don't put too much expectation on yourself. Everything happens for a reason, and this is your first. And after that, I took the pressure off. I was like, go as hard as you can for yourself, but don't expect anything. You get what you work for. So
Yeah.
I just worked.
And sometimes it's gonna work in your favor.
And sometimes
You know
it's
what? It
not.
humbles you. I would say bodybuilding humbles you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It humbles you. And to see like you, but still, you still should celebrate because it's really like a remarkable achievement that you've done for your first competition in bikini. Like if anything is so competitive, but bikini is the toughest one
It's
because you have.
really hard to achieve like the balance that they're looking for, the fullness, the muscle density, like especially because like this is like my first time like hardcore training and being on a meal plan and stuff. So I wasn't
Oh,
sure if I'd have the muscle maturity to compare up to other girls, but it's like I didn't think about it. I
let's talk
just
about it because maybe
went,
not a lot of people know what the bikini competition entails.
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about like what it entails in terms of the preparation? Why is it so difficult? Why is there like a lot of competitors or athletes trying to get into?
Yeah. So basically, bikini is like the entry level of bodybuilding, and you kind of build off of that to wellness, like you and figure and stuff afterwards. But basically, you have like the base amount of muscle. So they're looking for big round shoulders, but they're not capped. They're looking for hamstring tie-ins, but no striations. They're looking for pretty round, bubbly muscles with a lean looking physique. So you want soft abs, but you don't want to look soft and they can't be etched in. So they can't be too hard. They don't want feathering on the quads. You have to have proportion between the quads and hamstrings. So like you can't overtrain a muscle because it's going to hurt your score. You can't undertrain a muscle because then you're not in the balance and criteria of bikini.
Right.
So it's very subjective and very difficult to do because not only do you have to get super, super lean, but then you have to fill out correctly and you have to balance it all out. And on top of that, you got your presentation, which counts for a lot. You got your
A lot.
makeup,
It's
your
like a
hair.
pageant, right?
Yeah, it's literally it's fitness. It's a fitness pageant.
Yeah.
It's a fitness pageant for sure. And it's very subjective. So you never know what judge is looking for on what day. And you never know how you really stack up until you're standing next to other competitors.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally a mystery, which is hilarious because I don't like surprises. I love knowing every single thing beforehand. And I think that's what also made this journey so special. It's that you don't know what's coming next. You don't know when you're going to plateau. You don't know when your weight's going to fluctuate. You don't know when you're
Oh, it's
just
true
going to
because
hold
it's your first
water.
prep. You don't even know your body how it's going to react to prep. You don't have this data.
Because you never, like, especially like my first prep, I've never had this data. So like when my ankles were swelling like a couple weeks, not a couple weeks, like a couple months before, I'm like, Kayla, what is this? Like my ankles are enormous and like I'm holding so much water. She's just like, it's just water retention. Just wait. We kept going, trusted the process, followed my plan. And then boom, it went away. And I'm like, okay, well, now I know for next time around
You're
here.
taking mental notes, right?
Yeah. And like it's just cool to like see your body change and like learn it better. It's like
You become super hyper aware of your body. Like I can now tell when my time of the month is gonna come. I can tell.
you
Yeah,
know,
you know.
and like it's honestly a great feeling to be that in tune with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And as I get into my second and third prep and shows and stuff like that,
go.
I'll only learn my body better. And it's like, you know what? No, it's really true. No one knows your body like you. And with the proper guidance and diet and like implementing things like that into your life to benefit you, you learn so much. You never stop learning. You never stop growing.
Exactly. And I definitely see that you can have like a promising path, career, whatever you decide to do, right? It's for you to decide to do. But I was curious, Alexis, like, you know, how much training we do, how much prep. What was the surprising thing? Because it's your first prep, you know, those are people who are interested in doing competition. Like, what was, tell me, what was the most surprising thing about doing like either the competition or the bodybuilding that you did not expect? And the most surprising thing what was the most difficult thing? Mm-hmm.
The most difficult was probably like 4 to like 2 weeks out when my calories, like my body was losing weight. We were on track. We wanted to be ready early. So we had to drop my calories below 1,000 and like working at a daycare with children, trying to find the energy, shake off the brain fog, all that stuff at work while on such low calories. That was the biggest struggle and like mental push, physical push, day in, day out, morning fasted cardio plus your workout. It was really tough, but I liked it because it was a challenge to tick off. It was another goal to look forward to. It's like, can you really get through this? Is your body able to? Because your body can do great things if you push it and if you allow it. And it's like, and if you don't let like the negativity take over. So that was definitely really, really tough. But it made me really, really like even more proud of the accomplishments that I got at the show. Cause it's like, I put in the work. I didn't stop. I could have quit. I could have done so many other things. I could have said, you know what? This is too hard. But like, it wasn't. It really
and
wasn't.
that's a confidence building part. The fact that you show up for yourself and you did what you said you were going to do.
Yeah. And more.
And more. Amazing. And I love what you say there because I can relate to that in terms of putting yourself to hardship and then sort of like it. Yeah, I did it. Because I went during my prep just before I did 4 weeks. I did like 3 weeks in Europe, like trips and stuff. And and it was challenging, but I was so proud of myself because I stuck to my meal plans. I was so creative on how I got my macros in. And I actually trained as well. I was able to follow like my training plan while being away on vacation and moving like 4 cities.
See, right? Like traveling and prepping is so difficult. Like I could see so many challenges, temptations and stuff like that coming up. And it's just like, but for you, like that personal goal, when you internalize it, it's like, okay, this is like a new challenge that's coming up. How are we going to overcome it? How are we going to get by it? Because either you can stop and stay stuck where you are, you can quit, or you can suck it up, find a way around it, and move forward. And then look back on it and be like, I did that.
Yes. And you were surprised, like, and I became a little bit, I would say not self-aware, but I was able, I'm trying to find that word in French, in English, but assertive. Because I had to go to big, like high-end restaurants, little-end restaurant. And I said, Okay, I need you to do my chicken. You need to do it like this. Don't
Yeah,
put,
like this.
yes. And they comply. They had no issue. And
That's
in my
amazing.
head before, I was like, oh no, I can't go to a restaurant and I can't ask them to modify things too much. They comply.
Yeah. Well, I was in prep during like the beginning of show season and stuff. And obviously, like I wanted to go to more shows to gain more motivation, see what the
Oh,
judges are looking for, stuff like that. And like I had a whole bunch of friends like competing. So I was like, how am I going to work around that? I packed my meals, but it's like you got other stuff in your face. You got a nice kai kai's cookie in your face. You got the crumble cookies everywhere. You got the coffees, the pancakes, everything like taste testers. And it's like, how are you going to overcome that? And it's like, it was hard. And especially like post show, because I had
oh, post show, yeah.
because I had quite a few friends competing. Like sometimes the night before they would get a refeed and they'd want everyone at dinner. And I'm like, here I go, bringing my meal prep to the table. But I did it and I
Mm-hmm.
watched everyone eat. And when it became too much, I was like, okay, guys, I love you. I'm here. I showed up for you. Now I got to show up for me and like take my prep seriously and put that as a priority.
Self-awareness.
And I gotta go before the temptation becomes too much. So I brought my meal preps to the dinners. I stayed, I socialized, and then I knew my limits. And then I started to prioritize and made sure that my prep came first at that point. Because supporting them came first for their day. And then after that, I switched gears and put myself first.
Oh, I like
Always
that.
make sure that you're thinking of yourself in the back of your head because temptation will take over.
You
It
are definitely an
will.
old soul. You definitely have that maturity. I can definitely see
Thank
that
you.
by talking to you. But tell me, what did surprise you about what did you not expect about doing a bodybuilding competition or the prep itself? Like, oh, I had no idea it was going to be like that. It could be after, it could be anything. Anything surprising.
Honestly, it's the right now part, like how hard the reverse is.
Yeah.
Because my body just craves sugar. Like I'm such a sweet over savory person. Like you put a bag of chips in front of my face, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of whatever. But you put a cookie in front of my face and I'm like, oh my God, I can smell bakeries and like my senses are just so heightened. So like it's really difficult not being able to just eat, but it's like in my head, I'm just thinking like you want to put the best physique possible forward for your next show. You need to reverse properly. You need to get your hormones in check. The sugar cravings are just craving. It's a mood. It's a mood. And like listening to the Bikini and the Brain podcast with like Ashley Caldwelzer, like listening to her be like, yeah, cravings are hard and you get a little snacky, but either you can find ways around it because you are in prep. Your reverse is still prep. You can find ways around it and find little treats like a spoonful of peanut butter by taking fats out of other things to satisfy that craving.
Yeah.
And like you can find ways around it, but like it's definitely hard.
I have to admit that's probably what it is. And you won't know until you do a prep and haven't done. I did 4 preps. There's one that I had to stop. But anyhow, each of the reverse were different. But my first time, Alexis, I'm telling you, my hormones, I was like, I had such good control during the prep. Like I was on top of everything.
Yeah. And then afterwards, it's like, give me everything.
Yeah. And I was like, and I couldn't stop. It was like, it was bigger than me. And I couldn't understand it.
And I don't know why. Cause like, even me, like I had a diet break on last Sunday. Yeah. But like I kept it in check. So basically I was on plan, did great. And then I went to I was like, oh, I'll be fine because in prep I was so strong and like I adhered to the diet. But because there's no time-based deadline right now, it's just like, oh, I could snack on this, I could snack on that. So I had a burger with mustard, left it at that, like no bun. Because I'm like, don't go too far because the rebound is in my head. And I'm like, I will never go back to that 155 that I was. I worked too hard to get to where I'm at. And I want to stay within range of stage weight-ish. Yeah. Like to have like a lean building body composition off season. And it was hard because then I saw the Timbits and I had a Timbit and then I had a Rice Krispie and then I stopped and I just filled up on water. But like that break, I'm like, okay, now I feel guilty. How is this going to affect my body? How is this going to change my
Don't
weight?
do the overcard. Don't do the cardio, buddy. Don't do that.
No,
Oh,
not
okay.
doing that. But it's like, how is this going to affect my body? Because like the sugar, the fat, and all that stuff. And like now that I actually think about those things, and it's like, it can really change you because your body is a calorie sponge at this point.
At this moment, it's true. But you know what? I think it's just years and your brain remembering, because I it's part of sort of the work I do and stuff. But it's all about your memory is going to help you. And I think you're going to get better. Just use this as experience. Do what you can. Right now, you just need to like remove like whatever triggers you have and snack on things that are not so bad, right? If you're going to have a snack, like, you know what, like have on the, you know, low calorie snacks or whatever, right? Yeah, it's normal. We've all been through it. Trust me, we've all been through it, and it gets better. My second reverse, I think it went better, but I think it's because like I was like, I didn't weigh anything. But this one, this is my fourth one, and it's my best reverse.
Honestly, once I got back on track, I was like, okay, it's done. How are we going to move forward? You can either wallow in it and keep going, or you can fix it and not rebound. And all of a sudden this week, now we're down some weight. So we are moving forward, onward and upward, definitely keeping everything.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not about a rebound.
And the thing is, with it, it's like, I actually kept my post meal pretty clean. I had Chipotle. Which is basically what I've been eating, like chicken, rice. I added some steak,
things that you don't normally get to eat, right?
Yeah, like just the flavorful stuff, but the clean stuff that I normally eat, so that my body wasn't like too sugar shocked or anything. And then I had a cookie and ice cream, and I was satisfied with that. And then after that, it was just like, okay, well, now I've had a cookie and ice cream, but I didn't get to have pizza. I didn't get to have mac and cheese. I didn't.
Yeah, me too.
And in this reverse, I just have to keep mentally telling myself that you're going to get a weekly cheat meal. Just work hard for that week rather than binging and then having to try and catch up to where you could have been, or catch up to where you last were, and focus on where you could be if you don't eat this meal right now. So like, that's honestly the most surprising thing. But the strength of my mental has really carried me through.
Good. And that's what it is. That's what they say. Like, it's really the strength of your mental that controls your craving.
Absolutely.
You know, the front cortex. But then also your memory will help too. You had a bad experience. I remember that in the back. I remember. But yeah, it's really like your mental. And then just be aware of when are you weakest in your mental.
And
like,
discipline.
When I'm fatigued, I'm weak, then I don't need to put myself in certain situations. I have to be careful.
Exactly. You have to think of those things ahead of time. And honestly, like, discipline over motivation, discipline over everything all the time, and ambition. Like, how ambitious are you, and how willing are you to follow up on those goals? How willing are you to like really do what it takes, regardless of what it takes, to achieve those goals? So that's definitely been the most surprising thing for me. And
I think this applies to everything. It's not just like training, right? It applies to everyday life.
You apply the mindset to your life. You apply the mindset to your relationships. You apply your mindset to anything. And now that you have that mental awareness of what you can handle, your limits, how to deal with things, honestly, when the mental's there and you're in check, that's it.
Okay, young lady.
That's it.
Sky's the limit for you. So what's next for you, Alexis? What's next?
Definitely nationals, now that we are qualified.
Yes.
See me next August on a stage. So definitely looking to surpass the physique that I brought to CanFit Pro. Because now that I have a first physique working, like starting point.
You know what you look like as a bikini.
Yeah, I know what I look like. And now I know how I want to elevate it. I want to grow for sure. I want to make lots of improvements, put on some muscle, change maybe my posing routine. Who knows?
Okay, bring a
Maybe
little more
get a
step.
new suit. Who
Okay.
knows? But short term, by the end of the year, I want to put on at least 2-3 pounds of lean muscle. And I want to remain within 8 to 10 pounds of stage weight. I think
Okay.
that's manageable. I think that's reasonable. But next up is nationals for sure. We might jump into an early show to get feedback.
Yeah, that's always good. And
Yeah,
practice.
because I always want judges' feedback to see what they're looking for. Because from season to season, everything changes. Like the evolution of bikini is
Oh
always
yeah, because the
changing.
Olympia is happening like very soon. Like, okay, so we
Yep.
have to watch this and see what's going on.
Yes, absolutely. It's happening really, really
If
soon.
people don't know, the Olympia is like the Olympics of the bodybuilding show, and this is what sets the criteria for all the division. And so everybody will be looking to see who's winning, how they judging, and how the category is being. Well, because I feel like the bikini girls are looking stronger.
Yeah,
But
they're definitely getting more muscular, but I
yeah,
don't know, like my eyes will be peeled to see if they go harder, if they go softer, if they want bigger development in certain areas, if they want people to scale down in certain areas, especially in height classes, because it does matter. Like your
yeah.
structure won't always match the winner. Your structure won't always match the girl in the
The
same.
winner, you have to look at your height class more,
You
right?
have to look at your height class because that's a more similar structure.
But they don't
So,
have height class in Olympia.
no, not in Olympia, but you have to look at like heights of certain athletes that are similar to
Okay.
you. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So definitely going to be looking for that because I'm not just going to go into an improvement season being like, okay, I have to do this, this, and this. And then the criteria changes because it's so subjective.
Absolutely. But I'm sure that you will do great. So I'm wishing you best wishes on
Thank
your
you.
journey. And, you broke the ice. You now are a bodybuilding bikini athlete. So congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations on your 4 wins also. So tell us, are you like on public social media? Or is, like people are like, how can
Yeah.
they connect with you?
So my Instagram handle is pretty basic. It's just lexi.morrison15. Um, Same thing with TikTok, lexi.morrison15, not on that as much, but those are basically my main two that you can kind of follow my journey and reach me at.
Okay, well, we will do that. Very impressive and inspiring young lady. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lexi.
Thank you so much
Bye,
for
y'all.
having me. Bye.